And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father with them, and came to Nazareth, and was subject unto them. But his mother kept all these sayings in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man. Amen. I want to talk to you today entitled An Amazing Child. An Amazing Child. If you look around sometimes, and we've all had them when our children have performed well in school, we've had bumper stickers that says, my child is an honor student at such and such school. And when you think about that, because of their accomplishments, what they have done, what they have accomplished, things that are great with their homework, and there was a time when I was giving out money when they would bring their report cards, and I stopped for various reasons. But there was a time when I would give out because they would bring their report cards, and it would be an exceptional thing that they did well, they achieved much in school. And so a number of them had the bumper stickers that go on the card, my child was an honor student at such and such school. But when we take pride in all of our children, when they accomplish and when they excel, when they do well. But one of the disparities that I found that what we do is we take great pride in them when they do great in the secular world, but we don't make sure that they do great in the spiritual world, which is a problem. Because we're giving them too much secular and not enough spiritual. And so we have to come to grips with God expects us to give them the spiritual, so when they get in the secular, they'll know how to separate truth from error. And so when you look at this situation right here with our child, with the child Jesus, our Christ child, and we've been dealing, the Lord has placed on my heart to deal with this after Christmas, because a lot of times we leave this off until a Sunday school lesson. But when I'm looking at this and what I'm seeing right now in terms of the life of Jesus, if you notice that there's not hardly anything mentioned about his childhood. As a matter of fact, between verses 38 and 39, this is where the turning point comes. It's 12 years have passed between verses 38 and 39. And so we see that what God's purpose was in terms of Jesus' family, Jesus was with a godly parenting, the parents. Joseph and Mary were godly parents, all right? But then also understand something about the Christ child, the baby Christ and the Christ child, that he voluntarily gave up his prerogatives. His prerogatives being his omniscience. There's areas where he was omniscient, but his omnipotence, in order to become like us. And we have to understand that he had to become like human beings in order to accomplish what he came to do. The Bible says, for the Son of Man came to keep and to save that which was lost. And so he came to give his life a ransom for many. So he had to become human in order to accomplish that task. The reason why is there were no other humans that could accomplish that task, because everybody born outside of Christ is full of sin. I know people don't like to be told that they're full of sin, but we all are full of sin. But the difference between a believer and an unbeliever is a believer's sins have been washed away, but yet we possess unredeemed flesh, which still craves to sin. All right? And so what happened is, with God the Father prepared a body for Jesus. Jesus came, and yet he gave him two parents, Joseph and Mary. But Joseph was not his earthly father, not his heavenly father, he was his earthly father. But even then he gave Jesus an honorable father. Because Joseph stood in the midst of all the trouble that came about with his wife being pregnant, because the angel came to him. But even then, as I told you last week, that he wanted to put her away privately. And yet the angel said, don't do it, because this is God's purpose and God's plan. Joseph then took her, he married her, and yet he did not touch her until after she gave birth. And then he raised up somebody that wasn't his son, as though he was his son. Matter of fact, he taught him the family trade as a carpenter. And so in doing so, but if you notice about Mary and Joseph, is that they continued to follow what God's will was and the law of the Lord. They were pious Jews. They were devout Jews. They sought the law of the Lord. And they even brought Jesus up in the manner that Jewish children were brought up. The young males were taught at a young age the things of the law, and they were taught their history, and they knew their history. Even young Jewish males today know their history, and therefore they were bringing him up the way God wanted them to bring him up. All right, and so we see right here in verse 39. Remember, I told you a few weeks ago that from verse 22 through verse 39 that the law of the Lord is mentioned 5 times. It's mentioned here 5 times. It's mentioned in verse 22. It's mentioned in verse 23. It's mentioned in verse 24. It's mentioned in verse 27. And it's mentioned in verse 39. You know what the number 5 represents in biblical numerology? The grace. And when you think about that, who better to have as a Savior other than the one who is Christ and whose parents followed the law of the Lord? When you think about that, notice it shows his early upbringing, and it says, and the child grew and waxed strong in spirit, filled with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. So when you talk about the child growing, it's showing that he was naturally like every child ever born. He grew physically. All right? You know, when we were born, we didn't even know we were here. And you know, throughout time, and if you notice when you have children, and you see them every day, but you really don't see them growing when you look at them there. And then one day you look and say, boy, what did they, how did they get like that? You know, when sons get taller than their fathers, it's like, man, I've been looking at you every day. I didn't even see you shoot past me. You know? And so it don't take long for people to shoot past me. But it doesn't really matter. All right. And so he grew strong. I mean, he grew and waxed strong in spirit. He had physical vigor. And the thing that separated Jesus from every other child is that Jesus was sinless. Could you imagine in the neighborhood, you have somebody who never did wrong, never sinned a day in his life, and yet he seems to have, it talks about he waxed strong in spirit, and that term in spirit meaning that he was able to grasp and understand divine things. God gave him the ability to grasp those things. Now, you got to understand and see what the text is talking about with his parents. His parents kept those things in front of him, and he was able to grasp them, which lets us know how important it is to keep those things in front of our children, because children are like sponges. You just don't understand sometimes. You think that they're not paying attention. I look at the little children. I'm looking at Noah over here. I'm looking at Nana. I'm looking at Olive. I'm looking at Kate. I'm looking at all the little children that are in the sanctuary, and they seem to be distracted, right? And they can be, you might be distracted by them, but don't be distracted, because if you sit down and talk to a child and they'll bring up stuff in service, they know everything that goes on in service. Some of us remember how it was before there was ever a children's time with Jesus or a children's church. You remember you sit next to your parents at church and you start wiggling and then be still. You remember that? Anybody remember that back in the day? All right. You remember I was a teenager sitting in front of my mother and father, and Melvin Dudley and I was laughing and talking. Next thing you know, it's on the back of my head. 13 years old. 13 years old. And what am I going to do? What? Nah, you just didn't do stuff like that. You sat there and acted like it didn't bother you, but you wanted to cry so bad and come out of there. But you remember everything that goes on, and you think that they're not picking it up. Just when the young adult praise team got up and they said, good morning, and all y'all like, good morning, after everybody else. They pick it up, they learn. They learn the lingo. They learn when to say amen. We've had worship many times when children were here and people would say amen, and all of a sudden this baby yells out, amen. They don't, as Mama used to say, bit more know what amen means at that time than a man in the moon. But then the thing about it is that they began to learn throughout time, because through repetition. We had a thing called BTU. Anybody remember BTU, Baptist Training Union. They called it before became Baptist Training Union, BYPU. Yeah. Remember Baptist Young People's Union? I don't remember that. I'm the Baptist Training Union era. All right, I know most of us are. But I was told about the BYPU. All right, see, yeah. The old timers know the BYPU, but we know the BTU. And one of the things that BTU was great about doing is that BTU, Baptist Training Union, was great about training us and teaching us. We learned the books of the Bible in Baptist Training Union. I'm not going to ask, but I'm going to say, how many of our children know the books of the Bible right now? Don't answer. Don't embarrass nobody. Don't answer. How many of our children know the divisions and the breakdown of the Bible? Not just Old and New Testament, but the breakdown, the divisions of the Old Testament. All right? How many of you know the breakdown of the New Testament? We learned all that stuff in Baptist training. It was valuable. If I am who I am today because of those early years. And that's what's so amazing and what's so important. That's what God would want us to have. And so therefore, when Jesus grew and he waxed strong in spirit and he was filled with wisdom, the word filled literally means that it was all throughout his soul. And wisdom was the fact that he had such great knowledge and intelligence as he was coming up from that infant stage up until where he is right now. Now, I left out something from between verses 38 and 39. Luke leaves it out, but in verses 38 and 39, Matthew chapter 2 covers that. You have from verse 38 to 39, you have in Matthew chapter 2, you have the visit of the Magi, the wise men. They came when Jesus was in the house with his parents. What we normally see during Christmas time is not the true depiction of him in the manger, and here come three wise men from the east. And we normally don't know how many there were. Legend says there were three, but we don't know. But these were kingmakers, and they came from in the region of where Iraq and Iran is, and it came from that region, and that's why when Herod found out that they were inquiring about the one that was born King of the Jews, Herod sent for them and said, "Bring them here," and because Herod was the king in Judah at the time. And he wanted to know. So in the process, what happened was when the wise men came, they said, "We're seeking the one who was born King of the Jews." And then Herod said, "Okay, now when you go find him, and then I want you to bring him to me so I can worship him." He's a big time liar, wasn't he? He had no intentions of worshiping Christ, right? When the wise men or the Magi left, they went and the star guided them to where he was, Mary and Joseph and Jesus. And then the wise men went in, and with Mary and Joseph being poor, they presented to them gold, frankincense, and myrrh. These were valuable treasures that they lavished upon them, which gave them some wealth at that time, all right? Well, then after the wise men went another way, they left. Then all of a sudden, Herod got angry. And then Herod ordered the killing of every Jewish male child 2 years and under. The Lord then sent Mary, Joseph, and Jesus down into Egypt. When they got to Egypt, they stayed there for a short time until God took Herod out. He killed Herod. Now I want you to understand something about the plan of God. When God sets his plan, there's nothing that can stop it. No matter who comes up against you, no matter who tries to stop you, they can't stop what God has started. God starts it and he stops it when he's ready. Nobody, no human being can stop the plan of God. So we see after Herod died, God says, "If I got to take you out, I'll take you out. Because you're not going to stop my plan." And so all of a sudden, after Herod had died, the angel of the Lord went back to Mary and Joseph and Jesus and said, "Okay, those who trouble you is dead now. You can go back to Israel." Didn't say where to go, but said go back to Israel. They got word that Archelaus, which was Herod's son, had taken the throne. When Joseph and Mary were coming back, and then in the process of what happened is that they didn't go back to Bethlehem or into Judah or Judea. They went north to where they were originally from, into Nazareth. And that's how they got back to Nazareth. And so in the process, being in Nazareth, the Bible talks about that's where Jesus grew up. Joseph resumed his business, and Jesus began to grow, and then Mary had some other children at that time when Jesus was growing up. So then we come to verse 41. Verse 41 says, and this is where you see from verse 39 and 40 to 41, that's when Jesus is 12 years old, all right? And it says, now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the Feast of Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And again, don't read over those so quickly because it shows how devout they were. And notice they had their child Jesus with them every time they went. All right? Here, let me digress a minute. How many of you were drug babies that you were drugged to church? Because I know somebody said, he gets too personal now. Yeah, I know some folks that I know personally that were drug babies because we were all there at the same time. Weren't we? And you know how valuable that is? And what you pick up? There are things that we pick up just by being there. We learn. How many of you remember the hymns that we grew up on? I can start calling them out. Blessed assurance. At the cross. Well, some of the others, you know all of them hymns we used to sing. All right? And we learn those by sitting there Sunday after Sunday. Sunday school song leaders they would call out the words before during devotion. All right? Down at the cross where my Savior died, down for cleansing from sin I cried. There to my heart was the blood applied, saying glory to his name. Those things are like the back of my hand, and that's what you get when you do things regularly and you bring them up in that way. You don't forget it. You learn those things. Am I the only one that gets excited about that stuff? You should get excited about your heritage. At the time, you don't think about it. You say, here we go again, church again. And if you went to Calvary Baptist Church, it seemed like everybody else was out and we were just getting out. So why? We didn't have one choir singing a Sunday. We had the youth choir sing 2 songs, then we had the sanctuary choir sing 2 songs. Then we had Reverend Peace. When he would pray forever. And I was a junior usher in the room. But I didn't ever. I got in trouble, but I'm still We had all of that. We had Reverend Floyd McKinney do the tithes and offerings. Am I right? All right, those of us who know, remember that? That's how I learned Malachi 3. So every week, we would hear, and he talked like that. That's the way he talked. We didn't think anybody really talked like that, but he talked like that. But we learned from repetition. And that's how we got, when I was saying that they were quoting, Anise, Yolanda, and Tyra were quoting and running because, and Alicia, that's what we learn. Because repetition does that. That's why it's good to bring your children. It's good to bring them here on a regular basis. Not just third Sunday when the YAYC choir sings, but at 8:45 on Sunday morning. When they talk. All right? All right? Now, some of you don't agree with me, but that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to agree with me. But it's something, and the reason why I say that is because look at the world today.
Right.
Yeah.
They need a foundation to stand on. With the madness that's going on in the world. And we want to send them to colleges and universities with all that other madness out there. And without a foundation, they can be sucked out, sucked away. I'm almost finished. You say, yeah, right. He's about to be. He got about 5 more closings. I'm almost finished. No, trust me, I do. I'm almost finished. All right, you can believe me on this. And then if I keep going, you say, oh, he's gonna talk about the Spirit kept him going. But let me share with you why it's important. And I drew so much from this in verse 41. And now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the Feast of Passover. Don't think that that was the only thing they did. Just wait till the Feast of Passover, because it was in those other times that they continued to teach Jesus. They continued to teach Jesus. They continued. And it seems awfully strange saying that since he was God, but yet remember he voluntarily gave up his prerogatives. Some of his prerogatives. He still was God, and he was growing like every child was and grew. All right? And notice this, and when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. Now, there's something about being 12 years old in a Jewish family. Now, it was at the age of 13 when a Jewish male, a Jewish boy, could become a son of the commandment, or a son of the law, is what he could become, or a full member of the synagogue. He would then assume all the responsibilities implied in his circumcision. For some observers of the Mishnah, for some observances, the Mishnah provided that a boy should be taken to the observance a year or two before he turned 13 years old, so that he might be prepared. So Jesus, here comes Jesus on a regular basis to the Feast of the Passover. He's being taught. And then they get there because the parents would do that every year. And each male, a Jewish male, was required to go 3 times a year to Jerusalem to 3 feasts. You had the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which Passover was at the end. Then you had the Feast of Pentecost, and then you had the Feast of Tabernacles. All right? And then they were to do that. And all these were to evoke memory and all the things that God had done. And I believe that if we're going to raise up a group of worshipers, we have to continue to do that in the lives of our children so that they'll know what worship is all about. And let me tell you, there's a price that comes with it. They can't just see it at church and not see it at home. All right, I got half the church clapping, half the church. They got to see it regularly. So that they'll have a standard. They say, Mama and Daddy practice what they preach. And therefore, these things will evoke in their memories the things that Jews, since the time they happened, that God said repeat. Why? Because God is big on celebration and celebrating Him. Oh, we like to celebrate too. When our birthday comes around, a lot of folks like to celebrate their birthday. Right? Yeah. Let somebody not tell you happy birthday. Not too much celebrating going on. You get mad because somebody didn't say it's my birthday or it's your birthday. Go. Oh man, go Mr. Bush. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. But the bottom line is that they brought him up that way, right? And notice this about Jesus. So he had a reference point of all these things. Now this is the King of Glory, right? And his parents are teaching him. God gave them that responsibility to do. If God gave Mary and Joseph that responsibility, God has given that to us our responsibility ability to do to our children also, right? Here's what verse 43 says. And when they had fulfilled the days, 8 days had passed, as they were returning home, the child Jesus tarried behind in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother knew not of it. Now, before you say they needed CPS called on them, let me tell you how they did it. Somebody called Shantae with the county, because Joseph and Mary left Jesus in Jerusalem. They didn't even know it. Here, during that time, back in those days, because they traveled from long distances, there were the families that would travel with extended families. We have right now nuclear families, whether it's mother, father, daughter, son, or kids, or whatever like that. Well, back then they didn't have Southwest Airlines, they didn't have Greyhound, Amtrak, they didn't have SUVs, they didn't have Mercedes-Benz, they didn't have minivans. All right, they didn't have any of those things. They didn't have U-Haul trucks. They didn't have any of those things. And most of the families did not have a lot of resources, so they may not have had camels or donkeys to ride on. So the families would gather together and they would walk as a group, an extended family. It was mother, father, children, aunts, uncles, and acquaintances, friends in the community that they knew very well. Yeah. And they would walk from whatever distance. Now, Nazareth was like 65 miles away from Jerusalem. So they would start out on a walk. Now, it talks about in one of the verses that they went a day's journey. Yeah. A day's journey is when they would travel about 18 to 20 miles a day. That's a lot of walking, isn't it? All right, you get your Fitbit on in. You're going to get a whole lot of steps in on your way to Jerusalem and back home again. And so they would walk in a caravan, and so they would get to where the celebration was, and then they would go through the celebration time. They would remember God. Great worship was supposed to be going on at that time. And after it was over, they would then begin to go home at that time. So they would gather, and so it wasn't unusual to have a child that wasn't walking with his parents. Now we can't do that. Give me your hand. And then they try to jerk their hand away. No, you better stop. You better stop. Okay? And there's still some old school people in here, right? You really don't care what somebody says. Let you keep them for a day or two, then you'll be doing the same thing. I told you last week about the old school mom that could throw a shoe at you, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and can hit you with precision. Pick up whatever they wanted to throw at you. Those were the good old days, weren't they? Except when you get knocked upside the head with a shoe. Some of you got smiles on your face. You remember me, yeah, man, I remember the days. Y'all got hit upside the head. And I think we turned out all right, didn't we? Are we up on a tower with a sniper rifle waiting to shoot somebody? I know somebody there saying, that's your problem. Look, so Jesus, it was easy for him to wait behind, because as they started their journey, if you notice and they didn't know of it, so Joseph and Mary were walking, they had all these family, relatives, and neighbors, and all that stuff. But then notice what verse 44 says, and this is still providence. It says, but when they supposing him to have been in the company. See, that's why it wasn't unusual to have a kid, right? And so they went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinfolk and acquaintance. Now, a day's journey, when they would return home from the feast, wherever they would go, all right, they would return, but they wouldn't walk the full 18 miles the first day, because they went slow. Because, see, they were probably like me. You always forget something when you go travel somewhere. Gloria will be packed 2 days She said, you getting ready? You gonna pack? And so that morning, the flight leaves at 6 o'clock, 6:30. I'm in there packing stuff, waking her up, and all that. 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to put everything in. Got extra socks, underwear, this, that, this. And then I get there, I get it all packed. She said, you all packed? I said, yeah. She said, you got everything? I said, yeah, I got everything. We get on the plane, fly to where we're going, get to where we're going to unpack. Uh-oh. I forgot my papers. Uh-oh. One time I forgot my toothbrush. Uh-oh. And so what they would do is they would, I'm notorious for that. It does not matter. I'm still gonna pack late and think I got everything and have to find a Walmart. Until last year we went to Santa Barbara. Ain't no Walmarts in Santa Barbara, no Targets. Like 26 miles away. And we rode the train up. So we had to go to one of the malls up there. It was expensive. And so they started back on the journey. They started back on their journey, right? And they went a day's journey, but a day's journey on the way back because they went slower, just in case somebody forgot something. They looked forward through time to see me, all right? And just in case somebody forgot something. And then in the process, they would get to where they were going to camp out. They were like 8, 9 miles away. Then Joseph and Mary had understood Jesus is not here. Because all the family members, the caravan that went, he's not here. So what do we, oh man. So then they thought about it. So that was one day, right? So they couldn't travel at night by themselves, Mary and Joseph. So in daytime, they went back the next day. And then they looked for Jesus. Still couldn't find him. You know how frantic you can become when you're looking for somebody, right? Oh, we tell the story when Isaiah was a little boy. He was and he was so wild at the time. And he would do things. Gloria took him to the mall. And she was in the store. She was shopping in one of the Macy's or someplace that she loves to shop in. And she was in there. and Isaiah was so mischievous that the carousel where they had the clothes around there? Yeah. She didn't know he went and hid in there. And he can't hear, he's deaf, right? So you can't, when he goes say, Isaiah, where are you? You gotta get out and whoop you if you don't come out here. That don't matter. And she's frantic. I wasn't there. She's frantic. She's looking for Isaiah. She can't find Isaiah. Oh no. And then all of a sudden he comes around. I got plenty of stories about Isaiah. I'm serious, but I'm not going to tell them right now. Because I told you I'm not going to be long. All right. And so they went a day's journey, and then they went back and they sought him among their kinfolks. And then when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. Verse 46 says, and it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. Now, moms, if you would have walked up on your child sitting in the temple, you probably, I'm going to let him finish. He going to finish because he's up amongst these rabbis and doctors of the law. Boy, but when I get him out, now you know I'm right. Yeah. You've been thinking that, right? Because we're thinking in 21st century mindsets. All right, but notice this. I want you to see the spiritual implications right here. What Jesus was doing. He was releasing himself from Mary and Joseph because he had become 12, and when he became 13, he was on his own at that point. And he was letting them know that, okay, you brought me up the right way. All right, but this time I'm ready now to go on. And isn't it wonderful when your kids, when you bring them up, it seems like they ain't gonna never get it. Yeah. You ever think that? Yeah. You ever think that? I love my daughter. Our daughter, she is so sweet. I love my daughter. She is so wonderful. She's so kind. But there was a point in time in them candy striper days. Oh, my Lord. And yet, what God did when she went away, she moved. Many of you remember how I fought that? I didn't want her moving to Las Vegas. It was dry. Glory's like, good, let her go. She needs to go. She needs to be there. I'm like, no, I can't hurt nobody if they that far. I can't hurt somebody if they mess with me. That was my mindset. It take me too long to get to Las Vegas if somebody mess with me, you know? Somebody said, Pastor Moore, yeah, when you love somebody, you hurt somebody else if they mess with you, you know? You protect them, right? But the bottom line, the best thing that happened was when she moved away. The first few years, she kept calling, Dad, I need this. I need that. And I would fuss about it. I get mad, but I send it anyway. All right? That's what dads do. Right? And she needed a car, and I said, I vowed I would never co-sign for a car. I ain't even a co-sign. Don't ever say what you'll never do when it comes to your daughters, everybody. Am I right, Chairman?
Yeah.
All right. and so, but then when she got a few years away, and then all of a sudden she stopped calling as much about I need this. But then I was so happy because she understood that the first thing you do when you go someplace, you find a church home. She found Victory Baptist Church in Las Vegas. She got active in the church there. And then when she told me she was moving to Houston, I was like, and she's going farther away. And she was there in Houston for a few years. Some of you lived this through me because I wore it all over me. All right? And then she got there, and the first thing she found Mount Zion Baptist Church, she found Church Without Walls. Church Without Walls. Ralph West is the pastor in Houston, Texas. And she couldn't get as active there because she was working a lot on Sundays. And then when she told me she was moving to Nashville, whatever. Whatever. And I can't keep getting all bent out of shape over this because now she's like in her 30s, and yet I can't still be. I mean, the Lord is taking care of her up to that point. Me sitting back here worried and struggling and stressed out. I'm the only one worried about some glory. Just let her be. Leave her alone. Let her be. And then, when they go away, then they don't call you as much anymore. I have to deal with that. It went from every other day, sometimes once a week, then once every 2 weeks. I ask her, "Do you talk to me?" Yes. Then I get mad. She didn't call me. I'm serious. I would get mad. I was so mad she wouldn't call me. Here I am, the one concerned about her. Glory, like, go, and then she calling her. But I thank God because the things that we taught her, man, that's why you don't fret when you teach them. Bring them up the right way. They remember those family foundations. They remember those traditions. They remember the things that you taught them. I told you before, we had this thing where we'll put, like in the microwave, we'll put the bread in there. For some reason, we thought it would keep it longer, right? Keep it more fresh longer. And then Vicki was in Houston, and she had some friends from work come over, and they said they needed some bread. She said, "Oh, just go to the microwave." They said, "Why you put it in the microwave?" She thought about it. She said, "Oh, what do you know? Oh, my parents did that." Right? I mean, just things like that. I mean, not that that's some type of, but it's you pick up on those things because of what they see. I'm going to deal more with this if the Lord allows later. I kept my promise. All right? I kept my promise. I want you all to think about this. That what you saw happen in Jesus' life. Let us continue to reproduce that. I mean, Mary and Joseph, like they did, let us continue to reproduce that in those children. Now, some of us got grown children. But if you have grandchildren that you're watching over and things like that, bring them up in the right way. All right? All right. God bless you all.